Hello everyone, welcome to another Let's Play. This is Myrokos, and today we will be completing our preparation for Endwalker by completing the Reaper job quests. I had unlocked this back when I was somewhere in Shadowbringers. I forget when exactly, but I only did the initial unlock quest. I still have to complete the quest line, so I might as well continue since I already did Sage. I kind of like the feel of Reaper a little bit better than Sage personally from a narrative perspective, although I only did the unlock, so who knows where this will be going. So let's find out together. If you like what you see at any point, please like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. Give me a follow on Twitch. Hit the notification bells. It may be a small thing for you, but it does help out the channels tremendously. Thank you very much for doing so. And with that said, let's get started. On the hunt, Drusilla is eager to get the Void Scent hunt underway. Ah, there you are, looking deadly enough with that scythe to make me weak at the knees. I wager it's time we stopped faffing about and made ready to hunt our target. My lemures have been hard at work scrapping together what information they can. Let's see what they've got. Ooh, I like this garb. Is there any way I can get this particular chest piece? I like this attire, to be sure. Everyone here? Good. Arnegus, you've met. No further Chimera-related incidents. You'll be happy to hear the overly chipper lass over there is Herman. Make your acquaintances. If only the Mikote could have the facial hair as well, that might be nice, but I get that for some of the races it's just not viable. As you know, our quarry is a Void Scent, and he goes by the name Orcus. He's eluded the best, but these two are a step above that. Tell us what you found. By your will, boss. I asked around about unsolved murders and disappearances, seeing if any involved someone matching the description you provided. There's as many missing people as there are grains of sand, and no shortage of tragedies either. One, however, stood among the rest. A woodcutter in the Black Shroud disappeared without a trace. No body, no belongings, nothing. An odd enough occurrence by itself, but the sightings of a stranger with pale skin as snow near his last known whereabouts piqued our interest. Now that's a promising start, but those woods are crawling with bandits and brigands of all sorts. Duskwights and keepers are said to come in ghostly hues. Are we sure this man ain't one of them? Good question. As sure as I've ever been, boss. Not many bandits have eyes the color of blood. It's a match too close to ignore. Well, what about Graha? He's got blood red eyes, but those are Allegan eyes. I can't gainsay that. We have a lead. If I may, boss, are you sure we need the help of this outsider? How much trouble could one Void Scent be? Herman, he's standing right there, for God's sake. No, she's right. I've always told you to turn a wary eye to those outside the family. She's just doing her due diligence. But trust me when I say we need every advantage we can afford. I made the mistake of misjudging Orcus's strength before, and for my hubris, my family, my flesh and blood family, was slain. All of them. Ouch. Was planning on holding that back a bit longer, but 'twas before the Lemurs, I swore two things. I'd repay that suffering 1,000-fold, and I'd never let that bastard take anything from me again. I mean to keep my vow, and I trust I can count on you to help. You don't have to ask twice, boss. Your wounds are our wounds, even the ones that become scars. We'll see your vengeance wrought. All these years I've scrapped to make a place for us. I looked forward to the day he'd pay his dues. And it ain't just for me that we have to hunt him down either. He's a blight on Eorzea itself, and the longer we let it fester, the more suffering it'll spread. We need to corner him now while we have the chance. Are you ready, Myrokos? You know those woods as well as any of us, and we'll need your experience if we hope to be back before supper. Of course. Much appreciated. Alright, let's get to it then. Herman, I want you here in Ul'dah, keeping your ear to the ground for any news of Orcus's movements. Arnegas, you lead us to where this woodcutter disappeared. By your will, boss. That'll be the central shrouds, so our best course would be to set off from Bent Branch Meadows. Okay, Bent Branch Meadows, here we come. Orcus is an accursed name, feared from Garlemald to Alamigo. I hear tell the people of Garabania bestowed it on a fiend that feasts on the bones of man. So much does it reek of evil incarnate. Charming. Good, you made it. Before we set off, allow me to share the circumstances of our poor woodcutter's disappearance. As I heard it, he disappeared nigh on a week ago, got lost, some surmise, but he was a seasoned woodsman, not some highborn traveler who forgot to buy a map. I questioned those closest to him, and none could think of a reason he might want to make himself scarce. He'd even made plans to meet with friends not long from now, but I expect that promise will go unkept. It sounds like we can rule out a voluntary departure. I believe we can. The last person to see the man alive said he took his axe and ventured northwest. Then that's where we'll set our trap. Here, Myrokos, take these, a Magitech transceiver and candle that's scented to avoid Sen's favorite libation, blood. Once it's lit and the fumes are wafted through the air, every void scent within 30 yalms will come running. If either of us sees Orcus, let's give the other a shout over the transceiver. As I said before, Orcus is inhabiting the body of a man, and he can put on an awfully convincing performance when needs must. Don't give him a chance to work his wiles, or his fangs will be in your neck before you know it. As much as I want to accompany you, I'd only be a liability in a fight. Whether you find Orcus or not, return here and I'll report back to the lemurs. Good luck and good hunting. The boss painted a blood-curdling picture of Orcus, pale skin as the moon, and eyes like hellfire. I wouldn't want to run into such a beast on a dark night, or on a sunny day, for that matter. True enough. At least we are, the Guardian Tree. Though we are getting close to Hawk Manor, and that's been known to have Void Scent and should still have some armament lurking around. I think. Well, if that isn't a Void Scent, I don't know what is, but okay. The stench of blood chokes the air, filling your nostrils with its metallic aroma. Please don't come. However, no ghostly fiends or slavering creatures emerge from the underbrush. If there are void scent nearby, they must not be hungry. Well, I know there is a void scent right there, and it totally must not be hungry. So I guess I got lucky there. Okay, so nothing here. The Guardian Tree. I remember doing the White Mage quest. That was a bit of an interesting fight. Which reminds me, I need to do the Stormblood quest for that. Stench of blood. Again, nothing. Oh, wait. Although it bears no resemblance to Orcus, it eyes you. So there was some sort of a void scent, but not the sort that we were after. Oh well. I mean, void scent are a regular occurrence here, sadly. Glad to see you in one piece. Now what's that you have in your hand? Blood-soaked ring. This ring is colored red with blood, although with whose is uncertain. You said the void scent was carrying this? That ring. Where did you find it? I see. Then there can be no doubt. The void scent that Myrokos slew is the very same one that murdered our woodcutter. Murdered? Are you saying... Aye. While I was searching for a place to set my trap, I spotted a shallow grave, hastily dug and poorly hidden. Under a thin layer of dirt, was a body matching the description of the woodcutter, a wholly nondescript fellow, save for the mark of a ring removed from his finger. Doubtless that ring was his demise. Shiny baubles are a common fixation for void scent. Probably didn't spare a thought for the owner, only the prize. I suppose we can take comfort in the knowledge that it'll harm no one else. Orcus or not, I'd say this expedition was a success after a fashion. I should apprise the whalers of what's transpired. You two should catch some well-earned rest. Thank you kindly, Arnegus. Well then, I'll see you back at headquarters. So the woodcutter really was just slain by a void scent, albeit a powerful one. That's not your average void scent to come through. And there I thought this would finally be over. When Arnegus has the lead, we're usually toasting our kill the day after, but these are exceptional circumstances. Maybe we didn't get the satisfaction I promised, but sitting here with our heads in our hands won't do us any good. Let's be happy with one less void scent preying on helpless woodcutters. The only good void scent is a dead void scent. Orcus will pay for what he did. Hear, hear. Nothing comes from their endless hunger for ether but bloodshed and tragedy. We were on the cusp of ending 2 decades of misery. That's how long ago Orcus came into this world, raging like an animal free from his cage and leaving my family dead in his wake. The grief he's caused since is immeasurable. No matter where his accursed feet take him, his hunger follows and the realm bleeds to sate it. Of course, we aren't the only ones hunting him, but he's as clever as he is vicious, and not even the finest trackers have been able to keep on his trail for long. Don't lose your heart yet, boss. While you were away, I was making the rounds, and I might have found something that'll soon bear fruit. Arnegus is following up on it as we speak. Ah, okay. I swear someday that man is going to keel over on my account. Still, there's no one else I'd trust to tell me the difference between truth and hysteria. That being said, his work takes time to do right. Use this chance to hone your skills, and if all goes to plan, next time we speak, you'll have a golden opportunity to test them. No No word yet from Myrokos. I've always admired his thoroughness. I don't have the patience for that sort of work. That's why he's the brains and I'm the muscle. Okay. Dark days. Drusilla is awaiting word from Arnegus. Apologies, Myrokos, but we're still waiting on Arnegus to come through. There's not much for you to do around here until then, unless you have a knack for cleaning. Herman is good at wheedling out promising stories and whatnot, but getting to the truth of those stories is a craft as delicate as weaving. Yeah, okay, being a weaver, I suppose I can relate to that. I'm sure you've seen firsthand how one bad bit of information can lead to elaborate plans coming apart at the seams. Sadly true. Boss. Calm down, lad. Breathe. What's gotten into you? It's Arnegus. He's been murdered. What? What? Tell me I heard that wrong. I'm afraid not. The brass blades found him half buried in the sand not bells ago, just lying there like some bloody animal carcass. They're bringing him to Erlig's burial chamber as we speak. She's not taking this well. Whoever did this doesn't know the reckoning they've got coming. Before I'm done with them, they'll be begging to crawl back into their mother's womb. I want justice just as much as you, Herman. I do. But it's times like these we need to look to the boss for guidance. As you can see, Myrokos' emotions are running high. I should stay here until Herman cools off. Can you let the boss know we're standing by waiting for her command? Like as not, she's going to pay her respects. She's gone. Yeah, I had a feeling that was where she was headed. Sorry, Myrokos, I ain't in the mood for a chit-chat. Where's the bloody keeper? My lady, prithee, the dead must be let to rest. The dead are going to have one more among them if you don't shut your trap and listen. The brass blades brought in a body not long ago. Show me to it. Ah, yes, that they did. But you are, but are you the deceased's family? If not, I'm afraid we cannot. Family? Arnegus was like a son to me. Like a son? Ordinarily that would be... He is interned in the innermost coffin. However, I must advise you not to gaze upon the body. If she insists, then so be it. God damn it, Honeygus. I told you not to go and get yourself. Don't, Myrokos. This isn't for you. I only knew him for a little bit, but I kind of liked him. I'm sorry for barging in here and for all the bluster. If you can forgive my rudeness, promise me that Arnegus gets sent off well and proper. Of course he shall be. However, if you wish to inter him within the city gates, well, such sought-after space comes at no small expense. I don't care what it costs, just send your man to Lumira's headquarters to collect what you require. Myrokos, I appreciate you coming to find me, but there's someone else I have to speak with first. I'm heading to Stone's Throw. Come along if you please, but come along in silence. Given the fact that I'm not very talkative, that's not much of an ask. I'm pretty much always quiet. Let's see, can I go through and... So he is here. The divine must not be looked upon, that is our creed, a sacred rule that must never be broken. We urge all bereaved to follow suit, but sometimes... Well then, where were you? So this little area, this is sort of a temporary place where they set the coffin so people can grieve, and then if they can afford a place deeper within, they move them. If not, then this is where Arnegus' dear wife earns her living. Best get this over with. F's in chat for Arnegus. Arnegus never forgot the debt he owed you, the debt we both owed you. Even so, his loyalty ran even deeper than that. It's a strange thing to look back on the people we were, a decade younger and a lifetime more foolish, young lovers, proud patriots, blissfully ignorant, returning to Locus Amunis, the cradle of our people. Where is that? A triumphant homecoming for the Garlands after centuries in exile. The once mighty invaders had been laid low and driven back whence they came, and it was a banner day when Arnegus was honored with a post there. The honor and pride quickly faded when we saw the truth of Locus Amunis. We hadn't just defeated our enemies, we had clapped them in irons and condemned them to a life of servitude. Descendants of those who'd driven our ancestors north so many generations ago, made to pay for the crimes of their forebears. His superiors were certainly pleased with the poetry of it all. Arnegus, however, could not simply look away from their suffering. Oh wait, Lucas Aminus is supposed to be somewhere northwest of Dalmasca in Ilsabard. Yeah. Myrokos, however, could not simply look away from their suffering, let alone take pleasure in it. Confronted with the reality of the place we would call home, his conscience demanded he take action. He began cooperating with the resistance, but the eyes of the Fermentarium are all-seeing. Before long, he was ousted as a sympathizer. 'Twas only by the grace of good fortune that we escaped with our lives. I've often lain awake at night wondering if he had outlived his usefulness to the resistance, or perhaps it was a petty senior officer that orchestrated our fall. Regardless of the cause, the outcome was the same. We could never return to the Empire. We fled to Eorzea by way of Radzat Han, the only route open to us. Wasn't soon after stepping foot on the docks of Limsa Laminsa that your luck ran out, as I recall, stopped by Yellow Jackets and accused of being Imperial spies. Aye, but we still managed to make an escape. We ran and ran, terrified that our pursuers would one day catch up to us. That is, until we met you. Had you not taken us under your wing when you did, I shudder to imagine our fate. Your gratitude's the last thing I deserve, lass. If I hadn't sent Arnegus off on my damned fool's errand, he'd still be alive. It was Orcus that killed him, and no mistake. He died for my vengeance. I can't tell you how sorry I am. No, you needn't apologize. I know he was happy. So long as he was helping you, he was happy. The blame for his death rests not on your shoulders. It rests on the man, the monster, that murdered him in cold blood. And I expect you to see he answers for this crime. For me and for Arnegus. I will, lass. I will. Unless I swear everything that I have to swear. We need to talk, Myrokos. Somewhere with fewer prying eyes. Come meet me at the bridge to the north. Before we go, oh, she's still sobbing. My beloved, would that I could have been by your side. Oh no. So this is her stall, for whatever it's worth, and yeah. Yeah, I need to, get back and do more Crystal Conflict. I'll have a chance in the next PvP series. I want to get the other mounts. I just can't be bothered to do Crystal Conflict right now. I don't really like PvP personally, but it's at least doable in my opinion. I owe you an apology, Myrokos, for not telling you everything about me and Orcus from the start. I dragged you into a fight against a foe that's cunning, brutal and utterly merciless. I thought with all of us together we'd tip the scales in our favor. Ooh, an interesting callback to the Weeping City of Mach with the music. But I was wrong, and Arnegus paid the price for my hubris. That void scent we tracked in the Black Shroud was likely one of Orcus's minions, but I was too caught up in my grand scheme to realize it at the time. I should have thought about why it tried to hide that body. Your common void scent wouldn't have the guile to bury a kill. But what if Orcus taught it that as a way to throw trackers off its scent, and to dangle bait for me and mine? Orcus has used the same trick in the past, and he knows that we know it too. By dispatching his minions, we drew his attention. Arnegus was a warning. Orcus doesn't give his prey swift deaths. He toys with them, cuts into them, and savors the screams. That's how I knew he was responsible. It's like a signature, the way he leaves the bodies when he's had his fill. I only pray Arnegus doesn't take that suffering with him to the next life. Orcus will be coming for you or me next. Not right away though, that'd be giving up the game. He wants to keep us looking over our shoulders, sleeping with one eye open. He'll wear us down without even lifting a finger. And when he finally strikes, we'll be dead on our feet, playthings for him to do with as he pleases. That won't do. We need to bring the fight to him. No more waiting around for a lead to come to us. It won't be easy, but can I still count on your help? For Arnegus, I've come this far, might as well go the rest of the way. For Arnegus. Thank you, Myrokos. And you've got no qualm risking life and if you've got no qualm risking life and limb for Arnegus to fight for me, then I've got no qualm calling you a member of the family. Family? A curious word, that. Bloody, it's him, Myrokos Orcus. Some persistent rats were nibbling at my tail. I should have known by their stench that it was you and yours, Drusilla. Or should I call you granddaughter? Granddaughter? Shut your mouth, you thrice-damned monster. Monster? Is that any way to greet a beloved elder? Children these days. It seems one death wasn't punishment enough for you. A second should suffice for the scant remainder of your being. Myrokos, we're ending this here and now. Follow my lead. I thought we might savor our reunion for a while longer, but if you insist, I shall feast upon your beating heart here and now. Die! Naught but dregs left in that desiccated vessel of yours. Too long has the hide been left in the sun. But your family has been replenished with fresh blood, I see. My mind, what a bounteous soul this one has. Your scythe may be dull, but your eye is as sharp as ever. Blinding as the sun, pure as the snow. Hehe. Delectable as a boar. Oh. Okay, somebody's just a little full of himself. I thought to make a quick meal of you, but perhaps just this once, forbearance is in order. Such a singular specimen must be given time to fatten, to full its succulent potential. 'Twould be a travesty to consume you ere you achieve perfection. When your soul is ripe with fear, swollen with hatred, and fit to burst with despair, I shall return for you, Myrokos, and I shall gorge. Until that time, sup well, my growing whelp. Curse these old bones. He was right in front of me. I could have ended it in one swing. For a moment, just a moment, I saw it all again. My family slaughtered, lying at his feet, my life slipping away, and that was enough. Doubtless you have more than a few questions. I'll answer them, I promise, but now is not the time. Trust me. Standing around kicking the sand won't change what's done. Let's return to headquarters and let the wind cool our heads when we can consider our next course of action. Boss told me everything. That bastard Orcus is going to get what's coming to him. He thinks he knows pain. Well, he hasn't met me. It was my own fault. If I hadn't stood there slack-jawed, if I wasn't so damn slow, we'd be rid of that abomination once and for all. What you saw used to be my grandfather before Orcus took over. He looks green enough, to be my own grandchild now. Trick of the void like as not. It's no secret that if a void scent doesn't want to devour you, it probably wants to take possession of your flesh, but Orcus has a particular talent for it. And as you doubtless surmise, he's got an insatiable craving for ether. Killing is only a prelude to the act of gulping down our essence. like a draught of ale, after a day's work. He's old, I can't say exactly how old, and he's acquired a taste for the finer things. Seems your soul counts among the finest he's ever seen. Things just keep getting better for us, don't they? Wouldn't it be the first time someone set their sights on my soul? He can keep his bloody fangs to himself. Is that so? Used to being a prize pig, are we? Any road, it's clear that safety is no longer something we can take for granted, not even a crowded street, not even in the middle of the day. Keep your eyes peeled and watch out for those terrible red eyes. We're sitting chocobos for the moment, but I'll think of something and send for you as soon as I can. Until then, never sleep far from your sight. If the boss says your family, your family. Let's put that bastard in the dirt, eh? Fine, I guess. Yep. Thicker than blood. Drusilla seems relieved to see you walk through her door unscathed. Glad to see that Orcus hasn't sunk his teeth into you yet, Myrokos. Don't go thinking he's given up on trying, though. He's out there savoring you from a distance. Can't resist checking in on his prize, just as he can't resist seeking out morsels to tide him over till his feast. The reports we've received of a man pale as death, skulking about the sands, is proof of that. And then there's the matter of this blunted dagger. We don't know who sent it, but we do know what it means. It's a warning commonly used by less savory elements in Ul'dah. A warning that the next will be delivered sharp and straight into our bellies. More fool them, they've no notion of what we faced and lived. Thinking we'd soil our small clothes over empty threats. Let's hope it's nothing more than that, lass, seeing as we need to follow up on those reports sooner or later. Anyone fancy a bit of fresh air? If we catch a whiff of Orcus's foul stench, all the better. Myrokos, I want you to ask around near Blackbrush Station, and I'll head to Stone's Throw. When you're done, meet me there and we'll share what we've dug up. Not every member of the family has the means or the inclination to live in the jewel of the desert. Some settle for something with a little less luster. I recognize that self-assured stride, the mark of a man ready to take on the world and then some. You must be the Eorzean Reaper the boss sent word about. Yep. I'm almost disappointed to tell you nothing is amiss. The soldier in me would have loved to see a Reaper in action. I once fought in the Imperial Army, though you wouldn't think it to look at me now. I served proudly under Lord Valens in my... Valens! Oh, good heavens, not that guy. Thank goodness he's dead. Until the day he ordered us to use common folk as fodder in some pointless skirmish. Yeah, that sounds like something he would do. I refused and was sentenced to death for my candor. Needless to say, I didn't keep that appointment. Compared to that evil, toothless threats and ghosts are no bother. But the less jaded are more excitable, and one lass in particular has been jumping at shadows. She claims to have seen all manner of terrors, but I suspect she'd be startled by her own reflection. Still, if you want to lend an ear to her delusions, you can find her in Lost Hope. Things are quiet in these parts, save for that last telling anyone who will listen about the things she's seen in the dark. Find her in Lost Hope, if you're in the mood for a bone-chilling yarn. Oh, hello. Who are you? Oh, did Drusilla receive my missive? She sent someone to rid us of the terrible evil waiting in the wings. Truly, she cares for us as if we were her flesh and blood, which is more than I can say about my own. Not once have I longed to return to the life of comfort I left behind in Garlemald, and I have Drusilla to thank for that. She isn't the reason I left home in the first place, of course. Had I not met my beloved, I would likely still be feasting on lemon cakes in ignorance. In ignorance of love, of freedom. I found the former in Garlemald, and the latter in Eorzea, as our new life blossomed into something beautiful. Not every day has been easy, not even most days, but Drusilla's watchful eye has kept us safe, and our freedom is worth any measure of hardship. Such terrible fear gripped my heart when my beloved told me of the pale man he spied on the sands, but now that the family has come to help, I can breathe a sigh of relief. I'm sure you wish to know precisely where to find that horrid creature, but I can't help half so well as my beloved might. Seek him in the southeast and pray put an end to this nightmare. The mere thought of that pallid skin sets my heart racing in terror. Seek out my beloved, so we may finally put paid to this menace. He should be just southeast of here, seeking inspiration for his latest masterpiece. Hey, Leofric. Long time no see. Yeah. I haven't been back to some of these places for a while. Granted, I was last here at Stone's Throw for the Sage quest line, but still. Lithe Dandy. Okay. Through deviled mists the hunter doth now tread, tracking the scent of quarry dither's dread. In darkest night, cry for a keeper. Lo, by your side he walks, the Reaper. Apologies for the effusive display, friend. I am a poet, you see, and cannot resist putting into words the flood of emotions that accompanies such a striking figure as yours. Okay. Okay. Monster! Oh dear. Yeah, okay. The bloodlust emanating from the sword scent is potent and powerful. Easy. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my savior, my godsend. Would that I could have aided you, but alas, a poet's pen is of little use in battle. Unless, of course, that battle involves not swords and scythes, but words. And just ask the sire of my beloved, who is even now licking his wounds, the wounds dealt by the invective verse I composed after he had the gall to forbid our union. A masterwork of scathing metaphor and subtle remonstration. Alas, for all their pretensions, nobles are anything but subtle in their rage. We were forced to flee, to abandon our homes with only our love for sustenance. Nevertheless, I've regretted not a single moment of our life in exile. In Eorzea, we found an unexpected treasure, freedom of mind and freedom of heart. But I digress. Surely you did not seek me out simply to save my life and leave with a nod and a smile. Did you wish to commission a poem? The Pale Man. I encountered him whilst wandering these arid wastes in search of inspiration. I felt the gaze of some terrible presence upon my back, and when I turned to meet it, he was standing there, grinning like a butcher in a bullpen. He wore robes much too thick for these scorched sands, and scorched sands, and his skin looked as if it had never been kissed by the blazing sun. Worst of all, his eyes were as two bottomless pools of blood. I feared my end had come, but then he vanished as quickly as he had appeared. Perhaps I've been reckless. Recent incidents make it clear that the cost of inspiration is higher than I am willing to pay. I shall return to my beloved for both my safety and hers. Thank you again, my savior. But if that void scent was meant to keep me occupied, then what's been going on in Stone's Throw? And we're in twilight. It looks like dawn is coming. Of course it's raining. There you are. And another one of his accursed minions. Well, I suppose we can take comfort in the fact that none of the family came to harm, yourself included. Well done. Speaking of which, what do you think of this family you've been thrust into? Speak freely. I haven't lived this long by taking offense at opinions I don't want to hear. I'm surprised you've all survived this long. Seems like any other family to me. Doesn't matter what I think, does it? Takes more than brute strength or for folks to survive. None of them were fit for life under the Empire's boot, and that's good enough for me. Much as some enlightened types might tell you otherwise, people like to have a say in the life they lead. That's what separates us from those bugs over there. Born queens, workers, drones, bred into roles ingrained so deeply they wouldn't know how to live otherwise for the glory and prosperity of the hive. But we've got it in us to be different. Might be born into farming, soldiering, or politicking, but we can choose to walk a different path whenever the fancy should strike. Taint in our nature to accept our lot without question. No, we have to believe in something. Put our faith in it, only then will we deign to march in step. And indeed, faith of a savage stripe is one way to get us dancing to the same tune. Others might be compelled through faith in logic or law, intangible, invisible, yet cause enough for killing and conquering if it suits the queen. The invaders have sullied our birthright for 8 centuries. No longer. We will march for Locus Aminus with a few righteous words. His radiance, Solus Zos Galvus, whipped the hive into a frenzy. Once that fire is burning, the passion of the masses can't soon be quelled. What was once a wish for home became a holy mission to spread enlightenment. Enlightenment which would not suffer such beliefs as the beastmen held. Countless scores rendered up their lives on the altar of the Empire until an entire continent was united under a single Magitech fist. For those who still dreamed the dream of unity, a deed worthy of song, yet some awoke to see it for the tyranny it was, my grandfather Rulus included. The talents of the Reapers are passed down through bloodlines. Rulus was the best of us, the most accomplished and feared in the Order's long history. The duty of the Reapers, our role in the hive, if you will, was to deliver our countrymen from corrupt and power-hungry tyrants. When Garlemald found religion in conquest, its appetite grew to be insatiable. My grandfather pondered this conundrum for many sleepless nights and came to his decision. He would relieve Solus Zos Galvus with his life. Oh. 20 years ago, he slipped into the deepest chambers of the Imperial Palace, silent as a shadow, until he could hear the Emperor's beating heart. Yet when Rulus returned to me, Solus was alive and well. My grandfather, on the other hand, had a skittishness to his step, and his black hair turned a pale white. Yeah, discovering that, the Emperor is not really a man, but an Ascian who cannot die, that would be enough. He said naught of his encounter with the Emperor, save that the most powerful man in Garlemald was no man at all. Yep. Shamed in his defeat, my grandfather sought greater power. Bit by bit, he gave more of himself over to the void sent behind his avatar. Orcus struck when Rulus was weakest, taking his flesh and soul in one fell swoop. When he was finished, not a mote of my grandfather remained in that body. There was only Orcus. The fiend flew into a rapturous frenzy, and my family were his first victims. I remember the chill of his teeth sinking into my flesh, gnawing until they reached my very essence. So is this why there are so few Reapers left? But she said bloodlines. So could there be other families of Reapers that are still out there? Not just this one? Huh. How am I standing here before you then? Oh, Orcus gorged on a soul that night, but it wasn't mine. Not exactly. It was my avatar that filled his belly. Seems that was all he could stomach. So she doesn't have an avatar. Some might consider that a lucky twist of fate, but I had little time to ponder my fortune. Fled soon as I was able. His radiance never looked kindly on those trying to end his life or their families. I wandered about for years until I settled here and started seeking out others like me, others who had awoken from the Empire's dream. Lemurs is what we call the spirits of the dead in the Garlean tongue. A Fetin moniker, if ever there was one. Waking up from a long sleep ain't unlike climbing out of the grave. I can attest to that. Son of a bleeding, remind me not to give such long-winded speeches when the sand is blowing in my face. I'm heading back for some ale. See you at headquarters. Well, I doubt you'd be having to worry about sand blowing in your face if it's raining, but whatever. I must say, I do like the, well, if it ain't Myrokos, you heading in? Yep. Ooh, cutscene. Welcome back, boss. How was the family? Shaken but unharmed, aside from some tousled hair and mangled verse. Orcus left one of his minions behind as a gift, but Myrokos made quick work of it. I always said he was a keeper. You have an eye for the fierce of heart. I wager he could slay Orcus all on his own. Not that we'd let him take all the glory. Well, she's warming up to me. Of course we wouldn't. We'll all be there when Orcus tries to take his prize. I don't think we'll be waiting long either. Orcus said he'd strike when Myrokos was ripe with fear and hatred and despair, seasonings he's loath to forego. And I have an inkling how he might try to draw out those emotions. Okay, right you are, Drusilla. Oh no. How many nights did you mourn your lost avatar, the wellspring of your power? I must say it was quite the dish. I think not. Move so much as a finger and her head will hit the floor. Whoa. Wait, is that his scythe? The conjured scythe, or is that hers? He's just controlling it, because hers never glowed like this. Ooh, that's it, Myrokos. That fire, I want to see it burn. I want to see it rage. I want to see the hatred seep into the depths of your soul. Shall I make this Drusilla's final breath? Or this one? It is so very hard to choose. I was right not to give in to my baser instincts, to allow the thought of your taste to simmer in my mind as you and Drusilla formed a bond, a kinship even. Born from an understanding of her inconsequential deals, that you may better appreciate the better loss. Perhaps I should wait a while longer to let the flavor of your hatred mature and the tang of your malice ripen. I can make use of Drusilla yet, revel in her screams, exult in her misery. Ah, how splendid it will be. All the while, my prized piglet growing fat with loathing and succulent with terror. Patience rewards the dutiful gourmand. After all, when your tantalizing flavor has fully matured, I shall return, and I shall reap my harvest. Oh yeah, I was saying that she was, like I said, that was his scythe. Goddamned void-sent bastard, soulless piece of shite. We need to think her and swipe that salt and spawn. Orcus is going to pay for this. I know. Now's not the time to lose my temper. Deep breaths, cool heads. Right, we need a plan. First things first, find out where Orcus is hiding. The rest of the family should be able to help with that. In the meantime, you need to prepare. I know you're good, Myrokos, but we can't leave the boss's life to chance. Sharpen your skills and your scythe, then sharpen them once more. The boss can do naught against Orcus without her avatar. That means you'll have to do the heavy lifting. Of course, I'll do what I can to afford you an advantage. You can count on that for Drusilla. The Killing Art, level 80. So here we get, here it is, the end of the questline. Herman seems to be in a fit of pique, her anger directed at something you cannot see. when I get my hands on him. Oh, Myrokos, listen, we found where the boss is being held, but I'm warning you, the how of it isn't pretty. An envelope arrived at headquarters this morning. I opened it, and inside was... Right. Inside was a letter written blood. There's no doubting whose it was. Orcus is reveling in his own cruelty. The letter said he's waiting for us at the dusk vigil. Gods know what he's doing to her now. Dusk vigil. Haven't been back there in a while. I've called on every able-bodied member of the family for this one. We're heading out as soon as everyone's assembled. We're here, Herman, and more are waiting outside. We're ready to repay the debt we owe Drusilla with our lives if we must. With souls courageous, hearts of hardened steel, for leader's sake, for family's ideal, into the demon's lair they soon shall tread, to end his terror foul, his reign of dread. The boss would beam with pride to see this group of cold-blooded killers. All right, Myrokos, we're ready when you are. Say the word. This is a job for a Reaper, and a Reaper alone. Fake Orcus, and you won't be coming back. What? Now we might not hold a candle to the likes of you, but we've got skills. You'll need someone to distract Orcus, right? Then you can move in for the kill while his back is turned. Don't let us stay here and twiddle our thumbs up our arses while the boss is suffering. Don't make me repeat myself. Drusilla wouldn't want you throwing your lives away. What do you know about what she wants? Herman, listen. Maybe he's right. I know he's right, gods damn it. Doesn't mean it doesn't chafe. The boss wouldn't trust any man with the Reaper's arts, and Myrokos has proven himself worthy time and again. If you're going alone, then, take that with you. Oh, her scythe. For the boss, no self-respecting Reaper can reap without their scythe. Now go and make Orcus rue the day he crossed into this world. Garland salutes because they're all Garlands. And likely it's a habit. Oh, not this one again. I swear that person, assuming it's a person and not a bot, is really annoying sometimes. Yeah, I need to clean up my inventory a little bit as well. Oh, hey, Lutherpile, how's it going? I just saw Lethal Colonel's chat, yeah. Yeah, okay, just oh, well done completing 5.0 on your alt. Beasts within, heretics without. Suffice it to say, we've many a reason to see that nothing and no one passes through these gates. Yeah, I'm just wrapping up the Reaper questline as a prelude to starting Endwalker. There you are, Myrokos. My prize repast. Come forward. Oof. I can smell it. Your fear, your hatred. Your tender, marbled morsel, my masterpiece, ripe for the slaughter. I'll savor every bite, strip the flesh from your bones, crack them open, How I hungered, how I thirsted, enraptured by the thought of your sweet essence trickling down my throat. Ooh, this is good music. Never have I suffered so in waiting, but in beholding your magnificence, I shall see it worth every agonizing pain. I do not expect you to leap into my maw willingly, nor do I desire it. I want you to writhe and struggle unto your dying breath. I have to admit, this questline is a lot better than Sage. Very good. Violence becomes you, though it begins to bore me. Okay. A noise, rather. 'Tis past time you bared your belly from my blade. Prey's sole purpose is to satisfy. Why does he talk like Xenos? My word, your aim is terrible. Yeah, you weren't the target. How? There should be nothing left of you. You should have learned to chew your food more thoroughly. Fools, the both of you. I won't die so easily. Now our feast begins. I don't want it to be easy. Really good music. I'm assuming this is Endwalker music since this is an Endwalker job. Oh crap. That's going to hurt. Yeah. Okay, if I... Uh, I've got a number of jobs that I need to level, several job quests that I gotta complete. I'm gonna do the bulk of those off stream, etc., because a lot of people aren't really interested in that stuff. I only am completing these ones here because I started these on stream. Might as well see them through. No. This ends now, Orcus. The honor is yours, Drusilla. Ooh. I think I like to give Drusilla. Thank you, Myrokos. Dripping with fear, boiled in hatred, I can still smell its exquisite aroma. Just a taste. And I have this glam for the, actually not that one for one eye, but the head bandage for 2 eyes. I got that glam from a side quest in Ralga's Reach. It's done. Let's get back to headquarters, Myrokos. Boss, Myrokos. Sorry for causing you all no end of worry in tracking me down. You risked life and limb, and for that I thank you. All of you. We didn't risk anything, we just sat here praying until you and Myrokos walked through that door. Don't be so hard on yourself, lass. I know each and every one of you would have joined him if he hadn't talked some sense into you. We owe you our lives, boss. We owed it to you to return the favor. You're more than I deserve. Who forces them they hold dear into a personal vendetta? Who leads family to their death? Arnigus was no fool. He knew and accepted the risks. He placed his faith in you because he believed Orcus had to be stopped, and he was right. There will be no more victims to mourn. He helped you to achieve that victory. It'd be enough for him, and it'll be enough for me. You're right. This ain't the time for skulking. Arnigus would be the first to tell me that. Now's the time to honor his sacrifice, to toast those we have lost, and those still by our side. And to thank the brave souls that led us here. That means you, Myrokos. Much as I'd like to take credit for Orcus's demise, It was a long, bloody road, but this marks the end of your first assignment as a Reaper. And what an assignment it was, eh? You might not be a Guardian, but you tackled your first task with a singular resolve that impressed the most hardened soldier. I'm proud to call you family. We may have founded the Lemurs to provide a home for wayward Guardians, but we're not so different Guardians and Eorzeans. No great revelation that, but moments like these help to put it all in perspective. This family was a dream that gave us the strength to survive in a strange land. But the beautiful thing about dreams, if you ask me, is that they can change. They can get better. So I say that from this day forward, the Lemurs will be united not by origin but by purpose, brothers and sisters bound by shared convictions. I don't think anyone will object to that, boss. The Lemurs are ready to welcome people of all stripes. Starting with you, Myrokos, though it was all but official already, eh? Aye, here's to the birth of a new family, brother. What a day it's been, eh? Hope it'll be a while before I have occasion to yammer on that much again. Too much talking's liable to put me in a sentimental mood, or worse, make me dewy-eyed. So let's leave it at that, eh? You ever get weary from the weight of the world on your shoulders? Know that our doors will always be open. And if you need an ear to bend, a shoulder to weep on, or a stiff bottle to jump inside, I'll be right here, brother. So after steps upon the souls of your foes, you unlock new abilities, blah blah blah. Okay. Would that I could handle this a little more evenly like some of the other jobs, but some of the gauges are just a little too long. But it works. So now I got a second one. Once enshrouded, Death Gauge will display the time remaining to play host to your avatar as well as your stacks of Luminous Shroud, which are consumed to use powerful attacks such as Void Reaping and Communio, acquired at level 90. Okay. So it's a pleasure to see you walk through these doors, Myrokos. I know it's not very homely here, but feel free to kick up your feet whensoever you can. We're doing as well as can be expected, all things considered. Our new guests left some shoes that are proven hard to fill, and we found ourselves with less skill at hand than we're accustomed to. Herman is doing all she can, but bless her, bless her heart, as much as she claims to hate using her head, she's shown a sharp mind for trade, and thanks to her, our cerulean business is getting back on track. Renegus' wife is making do. You'll be glad to hear she's running her own stall and doing a fine job at that, at it by all accounts. I just hope that if anyone in the family needs my help, I'll be around to give them what they need. Okay, so with that, this little questline stream is going to come to a close. Next up, let's see. Yeah, I've got jobs to level and stuff, but I'm feeling an itching to get on with Endwalker, to start the Endwalker MSQ, and I'll be doing that on my Black Mage, because I started on Black Mage. I might as well finish on Black Mage, plus I got the Relic Weapon for that. So if you like what you saw at any point, please like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. Give me a follow on Twitch. Hit the notification bells. And next up will be the beginning of the Endwalker MSQ. See you anon, friends.